Well, good morning, West Ham fans. Almost, or good afternoon. Yeah, good morning, kind of. It's on that sort of good late morning, West Ham fans. West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Hope your Sunday's going well. Hope I didn't bore you too much in the morning. With the morning show, I was very tired. I was very tired at the time. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Obviously, we play Everton in a couple of short hours and we try and put together our starting 11. I don't think it's going to be too much problem. Maybe one or two positions are up for grabs based on suspensions and stuff like that. But as always, why am I doing that? Anyway, I do that. But we try and give you our thoughts, and obviously in the comments below, please let me know your 11s. From in terms of players we know are definitely not going to feature, we know that Emerson is definitely not going to feature as he's suspended. He's got 5 yellow cards, I believe. Paqueta and Alvarez also have 4 yellow cards to the chance, so they're probably going to get suspended for the next game because they'll get to pick up a yellow card today as well because it's just the way it is. So yeah, that's what we're up against, really. Everton have got 4 players out. There is potentially a question mark on Vladimir Sufal. Obviously, he didn't travel to Greece as his leg was tight or something like that. I think Moyes described it as. But apart from that, relatively clean bill of health, it seems. So let's just crack onto it. Let's just crack onto it and see what we get. Right. So it's, I mean, the fact is we've only, well, I don't know if Fabianski's recovered from his illness, but actually we only have one fit sort of experienced goalkeeper. So, Areola stays in goal and keeps his Premier League spots, of which he is, it's his own now. I'm assuming that Vladimir is okay for the game in a few hours, so he goes on the right back. I mean, I think you got the skipper. We need a big performance from him, both as a player and as a captain today, for sure. It could get toxic if Everton go up and take the lead quite easily based on the last 2 performances. So we need a real captain's performance from Zuma. We need to show some captaincy, which he hasn't really had the opportunity to show that because we've had a relative success beginning of this season, a couple of dodgy games here and there, but it's not like a continue. And obviously, it's only 2 games. We've lost 2 in a row. If we lose another game, I think it might turn a bit nasty there quite quickly. So we need to see some captaincy from our French. Is it our first? No, Di Canio was captain, wasn't he? Yeah. I thought it was first. No, ignore me. And then on the left-hand side, Aguerd comes back in. I was surprised he started with Bonner for the Olympiacos game rather than Aguerd. But as he said, he was resting players. So he's made it a very tricky game for him tonight or later this afternoon because any result apart from a win doesn't look good on Moyes in terms of what he says in the post-match press or pre-match press conference as well. On the left, now I think I don't think Aaron Cresswell's coming in. I think he's used him before. I think actually Tilo Kehrer plays left wing back or left back here. Obviously, we know Emerson is not playing; he's suspended for the game. And let me just sort that out. That's better. OCD was kicking in there. So for me, it's quite clearly he'll put Tilo Kehrer in. Could put Ben Johnson in. Could put Aaron Cresswell. Aaron Cresswell could get a nod back in the side. But we've seen before where we've needed cover for the left back, he's bypassed Cresswell and gone for Tilo Kehrer. And that's not saying it's sometimes these random games that Moyes throws Cresswell back in. These sort of like games which not season defining, but a win might curtail people for a few more weeks. But a loss will ramp up the volume. That's definitely sure in terms of the Moyes out rhetoric. So it's these other games he might put Cress in if he's fit. Do you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm putting him in for that exact reason. Not that I particularly want him there, but it's these games. Sometimes you used to get Mark Noble as well, where he just rolls back the years for one game, and it could be one of those games for Cress where he rolls back the years. But I'm putting him in. He comes into the side. It'll probably Tillich here and now, doesn't matter. Alvarez comes back in, will play that sort of that holding role, which we desperately missed, I think, against Olympiacos. When we played the 4-2-3-1 type formation, you don't have that designated, they're both of them are pushing forward. And actually, we just lost that sort of bite in that central midfield. And to be honest, Olympiacos walked through us. And when you look at some of the players that they've got, and the likes of Everton, agreed. Someone like Andre Gomes isn't playing, and obviously Dele Alli's not. Was injured, and we've got Seamus Coleman's out as well. But they've still got like Decore. They've still got some really good midfield players. They've still got a Nana. When he plays, although Deitch doesn't always fancy him, it doesn't tend to stay with him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll be interested to see how it all pans out. I'll be honest, because that midfield battle is going to be a hell of a battle. As I said, with 4 players out, Ali, Coleman, Ashley Young suspended as well, which helps us out a little bit because he's got one of those annoying players, Ashley Young. He does sometimes tend to just turn it on for West Ham. But I think with Alvarez back in, I think we really missed him. I think if we'd put in Alvarez instead of Souček against Olympiacos, I have a feeling you probably would have had a bit of a better run at it, to be honest. But we didn't. And that's it. And we move on. We move on indeed. So let's go into the midfield. Let's go into the attacking. So we'll play 4 across the middle. We know what's going to happen. We know it's going to be, Paqueta's going to play on the left-hand side, but not really play on the left-hand side. It's a tricky one when he comes to that position because he drifts off. And I think where usually you'd have Emerson, that's why he might go with Tile Kira, just so there's some sort of attacking prowess. And I use that expression very lightly. Let's go with that. We'll go with that. I think on the right hand side, they'll probably play Jack Harrison, who's again another one of those really annoying players who turns up for West Ham against West Ham. So I could see Jack Harrison, although he won't have Ashley Young or he won't have Seamus Coleman. Be interesting to see who they play right back actually, because like they're 2 designated sort of right backs in terms of Ashley Young. He played against Liverpool, and Seamus Coleman, obviously their number 1 right back, both are out. So maybe you'd fancy putting someone down that line. I'd love them to just whack Kudus down there. I know it's not his preferred, but just whack him down there, because you're going to have some dodgy right back, or some person playing out of position, and you could really manipulate that left-hand side. I don't know. Anyway, we'll put Paqueta in there. We know it's going to happen. We also know, it's not exactly, what's the word, rocket. Where's my mouse gone? Where's my mouse gone? Oh, where's he gone? There you go. It's not rocket science, but we know that JWP will come in. We also know Tommy Souček will come in as well. We know Bowen's back. I've put in my FPL this week, so it's bound to be shit this week. For Sod's Law. As always happens. My OCD is kicking in, so I've got to make sure that's the right size and make sure that's perfect. Let's bring it down a little bit, otherwise there's no space for Antonio. Shock. And he's going to play Antonio. He's not going to play Kudus. He's going to start with Antonio. And to be perfectly frank, that side's basically, I think I think that's pretty much going to be the side you're going to see for pretty much most of the next, up until the end of November, in all honesty, for the Premier League and for the Europa League, maybe the Carabao Cup as well, because the result on Thursday really, really has put a spanner in the works in terms of that. As I said, if we'd won against Olympiacos, we'd have the minimal points in the next 3 games. And maybe if we did the double on Olympiacos, we would have been safe. We would have been up, and we maybe need a point or whatever against Freiburg to guarantee top spot. But that's not happened the case. Everyone's been brought in now. I think the only exception is when it comes to maybe the Europa League game, and also things like the Carabao Cup. I think you probably would see I think it's more likely to be this. He'll go with what he did for the Freiburg game, almost like that type thing. And obviously Emerson will be back in because he'd return, and obviously bar any suspensions, I think that's pretty much the plan B, which I think probably should be the plan B. Based on the performances of the squad players, yes, on Thursday rather. So, but that's my 11. That's not my 11. My 11 has Antonio. Because I think he'll start with Antonio because he will, and he'll have a lovely time against Tarkowski and Braithwaite or someone like that, whoever plays centre backs. My concern is the midfield. Nana, Decore, Garner played against Liverpool. If we play to the same standard of football that we played against Olympiacos, particularly the midfield, where there was huge gaps, we'll be in trouble. Because they've got Kevin Lewin, they've got Beto, they got Jack Harrison, they've got players who could hurt us. Dwight McNeil as well. They've got some good players, and I think it just worries me a little bit. Dan Juma as well. Dan Juma always turns up against us as well. So let's see what happens. But I think with the back four and with Alvarez just sitting in front of that back four gives us a little bit more stability in terms of that side. And we need a performance. We need a victory first and foremost. We need 3 points. We need 3 points today. Because it's all about momentum. And we go into the Arsenal game next Wednesday. We got a bloody good chance of going really far in the Carabao Cup if we just beat Arsenal. That's it. Because I think everyone's playing each other and it gets whittled down. And there's not many. I think whoever wins that Arsenal West Ham game in the Carabao Cup, it's one of the favourites for the cup going forward. Obviously, we'll have I'm sure we'll have minute silences for Bill Kenwright and Bobby Charlton as well. So it's going to be quite an emotional game. But particularly for the Everton fans. But I just think, West Ham fans, we live in open. I'm not being funny. Our war song is about dreams fading and dying. So, we already have a defeatist attitude in our song. But I really hope we have a proper performance. That's what we need. We need 11 Warriors out there today showing some bollocks, showing some fight for the shirt. We had that in bits against Villa. We did it in bits, not lots. A couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there. I've switched my light off. Just realised. There we go. Well, it's a bit dark in the corner. So yeah, we need something. We need something for the fans. We need something for the fans to feed off, because we've got 4 games. Four out of the next 5 games are at home. But it only is an advantage if the team are playing well and we move and there's something we can cheer about on the pitch. Otherwise, it can get very, very hostile and very, very quiet, can't it? And that's not because it's London Stadium. That's the same as Upton Park. That's the same as every other stadium. In the Premier League or in football, if the team aren't playing on the pitch, then the fans aren't going to, unless they're loopy and really pissed, they ain't going to carry on cheering for 90 minutes, are they? Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about your starting 11s. And Anton will be in the watch along, and I'll be running around after the game trying to talk to people. Win, lose, or draw. Hopefully win. Take care. Stay safe. Stay humble. Got to say that because I missed saying that on Friday, I think it was. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Oh, yeah.